Hey everyone, I'm going to give you the twins 3-month update, which is their current age now. So we'll be up to date, and I will be able to do the monthly updates on a regular basis. As far as stats, they haven't had any doctor's appointments recently. As far as, for their growth and everything. So I did weigh them on our scale at home, and just by going by the scale at home, Carter is 11 pounds 6 ounces, and then Ryan is 10 pounds 6 ounces. So they're a pound apart. Again, that's going off of my home scale with me basically weighing myself and then putting them in my arms and weighing myself again and doing the math that way. Both of them are talking a lot now. I mean, a lot. Carter, if you can hear Ryan, she's talking now, and Carter oohs and ahs all the time as well. They are definitely more alert, and they're more, they have more eye contact now, so they actually pay attention to you. They also have kind of a sleeping schedule as far as nighttime sleeping schedule. I typically try to get them down around 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, and the reason why I do that is because they have been sleeping a good 4 to 5 hour stretch at night, and so they've been waking up at 3 a.m. If I put them down before the 9:30 or 10, they will get up before 3, and then also if I put them down after, they still get up at 3, which that doesn't make sense, but I guess 3 o'clock is their alarm clock, or 4 to 5 hour stretch, whichever comes first. So I do feed them at 3 a.m. and then my husband still feeds them at 6, between 6 and 6:30, depending on when he wakes up for work. And then they will come back to, he'll place them back in bed, and then they'll get up around 9 o'clock in the morning. And then we're up for the day and we're doing our daily routines. We did move them to the bassinets in the bedroom. We did not want them to become independent with the rock and plays. I have heard that sometimes if you start them in the rock and plays, then moving them to the cribs can be a really pain in the butt. So I went online and I looked up ways to move them to the crib stage, but I didn't actually move them to the crib. I moved them to our bassinets in our bedroom. One way that we did it was we put a fitted sheet in the pack and play, which has the 2 bassinets, and then under the fitted sheet, we rolled up a towel and put it at the top of the bassinet so that it would kind of hold their head a little bit, and it kind of gave them that little snug feeling, which is what the rock and play does. That worked like a charm. We didn't have any issues. They fell asleep right away. And then we also put them in these little swaddle sacks that you can get at like Babies R Us. The swaddle sacks essentially just lets their arms be free, but it's like an extra blanket so that they don't have the blanket in there to cover their face. So yeah, that worked really well. And so now they sleep in their bassinets at night. They do sleep in the rock and plays every now and then for like nap times or when they're kind of just chilling in the living room. But as far as nighttime goes, they are in the bassinets permanently. I take that back. I lied. Carter actually, after his 6 a.m. feeding, he was still a little restless at times, and so we would put one of the rock and plays beside my bed and put him in it so that if he was fussy, I could just rock him. I do not put him in the bed with me any longer. I did not want him to get used to that, so we do the rock and play from 6 until, again, they wake up around 9 o'clock in the morning, so that works really well. He's actually been doing really good and not being as fussy in the morning, so I might try to start putting him back in the bassinet instead of beside me in the rock and play for that short amount of time. We'll see. What else? Oh, we did start nap times. We just started nap times this week. And so I'm still trying to get used to their schedule. They tend to be up. They get up at 9 o'clock for the day. Then they'll eat. Then they'll play for a few minutes. And then they typically go down for a nap around 10:30, 11 o'clock. and then they'll sleep for maybe an hour. I've not had them sleep any more than an hour, and then they're up, typically ready to eat, play, and then we'll try to go back down for another nap. I'm still trying to get their signals down as far as how long they can go without being fussy. Let's see. I've got some notes here again. I'm just trying to get through this. Some of their firsts that will happen this month was they did stay overnight at their grandparents' house for the first time. Me and my husband wanted to attend a concert, and it was in, and we needed my parents to watch them, and my parents lived south of us and the concert was north of us, so it was kind of pointless to go from the concert all the way back to my parents' house. So we let them stay the night, and they did very well. My mom was very impressed with them and their sleeping and everything else. Let's see. We went back to North Carolina to visit our friends again. Last time we visited them, they didn't have their boat up and running, and this time they did. My husband went with me this time. And so the kids went on their first boat ride, which was awesome. They just slept like little babies on that boat. They did fit in their life vests a bit better than they did during their 2 months trial of the life vest. So they weren't as fussy, and they actually enjoyed being in them. We also took them to their first event here locally. It's called Bacon Fest, and basically it's just a lot of, what do you want to call it, like vendors. They have like little stations set up in our local park, and they have everything bacon. So like you've got everything from like, you know, bacon quesadillas to, they had bacon desserts, like donuts covered with bacon, you know, sandwiches that had like bacon fillings and stuff in it. It was just crazy. My husband had a ball. Of course the kids couldn't try anything, but I did try a little bit. I'm not a huge bacon fan, but my husband enjoyed it, I think, a little bit more than we did. But it was a nice outing that we went to out in public. I'm hurrying. I did get some earrings for my husband, which was really nice. I don't know if you can see them, but they're just these little hoop with diamonds in them. It was funny because I took a picture with Carter giving them to me and said it was from Carter, but it was really from my husband. He just surprised me with them just because I'm a stay-at-home mom now. I deal with all the crazy crying, fussiness that goes on, and I do appreciate that he actually understands and appreciates the hard work that it takes to be a stay-at-home mom. It can drive you a bit crazy sometimes. So that was cool. I'll post a picture at the end of the video like I did with the previous one, of Carter with the earrings. He was pretty funny and cute with them. Ryan had her first fever from being sick. She had a stomach bug. I did have to take her to the doctor just to get things checked out. She had her fever, and then she was having what I considered diarrhea, bowel movements, and she was having a bowel movement every time she ate, which was a little alarming considering she wasn't having that before. And then there was a little bit of like a reddish, brownish mucus that was also in her bowel movements, which kind of was alarming. But the doctor said that it was definitely from the little stomach bug. And since then, he put her on a different formula, which kind of is a pain in the butt for me because now Carter's on one formula, she's on a different formula. Her formula is a hyperallergenic formula, and even with that formula, she's still having a bowel movement every time she eats. So the doctor called to check on her, and I explained that she's still having the bowel movement every time she eats. She still has a little bit of mucus in there. Other than that, she's happy-go-lucky. I mean, she's not fussy or anything. It doesn't seem to bother her. So we did have an appointment with a GI specialist, which I actually went to yesterday. The specialist basically said that sometimes the babies, when they have little tummy aches or if they get like a little virus of some sort, it can mess up their tummies for quite a while, actually. So with my doctor switching her formula, my doctor thought she might have an allergy to her other formula. So that switch can, prolong the process of her stomach getting back to normal. And then also the formula that she is on, the specialist said that it is a formula that is more kind of like breast milk as far as being a laxative almost. And so it will go through her more frequently. So all in all, she probably is fine. He wants me to give her a few more weeks on the formula and see if it kind of, if the bowel movements get any better. And then also with her coming up on her 4 months, she's going to be starting cereal, so that might, so she's got a lot going on in her little tummy right now that we're trying to figure out. But like I said, other than her bowel movements being all the time, she's been fine. The only thing that yesterday, and I wanted to be that mom that sat there and cried, was she had to do some lab work. Part of her lab work was they had to draw blood. Well, when they draw blood, they can only draw it through their little foot. And so I took her to the lab and they were doing that, and she screamed bloody murder, and she was tensing up, and she was so strong it took 3 nurses to get in there to kind of help hold her down. They had to do both feet because they couldn't get enough out of the one. And then to top it off, today I get a call from the lab saying that her blood clotted in the midst of, trying to get it from her. And so they wanted to do it again. So I've called the doctor and I've left a message for them and asked if it is absolutely necessary, because I don't want to put her through that again. It was very traumatizing for me and for her. So I just don't want to have to do that again. So keep fingers crossed that we don't have to do that again. What else did we do? I did have an IUD put in for myself as form as a birth control. I know that it took us a while to get pregnant and that we had to do the IVF and that our issue was with fertilization, but I don't want to be that couple that it would just be our luck that we would get pregnant off the bat again. Even though we spent all that money and we had to go through all the whole process, we're not ready to be pregnant again. And so I didn't want that to happen. So I went ahead and got the IUD put in. So we did get to go visit, I took him to visit the OBGYN that had delivered them. He was very excited to see them. Again, he's a friend of ours, so he doesn't get to see them on a regular basis, but he does see them on visits, and that was going to be my last visit for a little while. So so they went and visited him. Let's see. Oh, also they've been kind of interested in TV. I had the Disney Channel on, Disney Junior to be exact, and it's kind of like I think it's more for toddlers, but they really enjoyed the colors and the sounds and everything. And sometimes, with twins, I've got things I've got to get done, and so yes, I do kind of put them in the living room and the TV is on. Sometimes they watch it and sometimes they're not watching it. Sometimes they're just napping or whatnot. And they're getting better at wanting to be on the play mat, which is really good because I don't have to keep the TV on for so long. But as far as TV goes, what is your opinion on the TV situation? I know that I guess research and everything shows that you probably shouldn't let them watch TV before 2 years of age due to I guess it can cause attention deficit disorders. But yet, I know people who have put their children in front of TVs for a short amount of time and they're fine. So, I don't use it, like I said, all the time. They maybe watch 30 minutes max a day of it, if anything, and it's sporadic. It's not like 30 minutes at one time. It's just if I have to get something done, they're being fussy, I put them down and I have something to entertain them just for a few minutes so I can get something done. They are enjoying, like I said, they are enjoying their play mat a little more, so I don't have to have the TV as much. But they're not really up doing anything. They can't sit, and they're not sitting up, so they can't sit in like one of those little bouncy things to keep them occupied. They, you know, if they're not playing with me, they're playing on the play mat because they're laying down, and that's basically all the fun that they get to really do. So yeah, what is your opinion on the whole TV situation? And then the last thing is that the playmat, as being a first mom, I failed at the playmat thing. So I'll put a picture again at the end of the video, but I had the playmat set up. It was like a TP shape ordeal, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to get them a new playmat because this one's getting too small for them. And then I was wondering why they couldn't reach the top toys that are kind of dangling, and I'm thinking, you know, they just have to get taller, longer, be able to reach them. Well, I was looking for another playmat online, and I seen my playmat on there, and I noticed it was a little bit of a different shape. Instead of the teepee, it was a more like rounded shape. And I was like, what the heck? Well, how come mine isn't rounded like that? Well, there's this round like orange piece, and supposedly, I guess, and I didn't know this because I didn't buy mine brand new, it was used, and so I didn't have instructions with it, but you press down on the orange piece, which is at the very top, and it actually locks in place, and so it makes more of a dome shape instead of the teepee shape, which makes more rooms for the baby. So now I don't have to get a new play mat, but I feel like a complete idiot because they have been playing on that thing for the past 2 months the wrong way, I guess. They didn't know it, but I did. So yeah, I will put a picture though, just to show you, so you first-time moms out there don't feel as dumb as I did. Also, my husband and my father continue to get the twins mixed up. I don't know how. Sometimes if they're wearing similar clothing, like similar color clothing, they will get them mixed up. Which I think is completely hilarious because I think they look completely different. You know, Ryan has brown hair. Carter has blonde hair. Carter's a lot bigger than Ryan. And Ryan's face is more round. Carter's is more long. So, I mean, there's things that I don't see how they get them mixed up, but they're getting better at it. As far as I go with postpartum, I did lose a lot of weight in the beginning. I've still kept that weight off for the most part. I've gained about 5 pounds back, and I do feel a bit more flabby in areas. So I definitely need to start eating healthier and probably walking more and kind of toning up myself. I will probably focus on that after vacation. We're going to be going to the beach for a week starting next week. So when we get back, I'll focus more on, you know, me and toning up and just getting healthier. My one thing that has been happening is my hair. It's kind of a mess right now because I just did the whole I don't want to blow dry, scrunch it up and go type ordeal. But I've noticed that when I wash my hair and brush my hair and stuff, I have a lot of what I call shedding coming out, and it's just a lot of hair just coming out, and like it's a lot, and it freaks me out. I have thick hair, so I'm not like going bald anywhere, but it's a lot coming out. And normally I have some hair fall out, like, you know, different seasons you kind of shed, but not like this. And it's to the point that after my shower and getting ready, I find little hairs all over me, and it's just icky feeling. I'm hoping it's just from like hormones, but I don't know. I know that's a sign of your thyroid kind of being out of whack. So I've got a new doctor I'm going to be seeing, a primary care physician. My appointment's not till October because they they were booked up till then. And with insurances, like with my insurance, with my job, it's ran out. So I had to go on my husband's insurance, so I had to change doctors. So I won't know for sure about why my hair is falling out until then. But that is one thing that's just kind of been driving me nuts lately is my hair. So I've been wearing it up in a ponytail or a bun a lot of times just because it's been bothering me. But as far as everything else goes, I just need to get on a more routine as far as eating. I typically get up, I feed them, and then it's lunchtime by the time I eat my first meal, and I know that's really bad. And then I tend to forget to eat like until I'm starving, and then I just eat whatever I can find. And the quickest thing is sometimes fast food or maybe a meal out of a box, or so I really need to focus on doing that. And I also need to focus on drinking more water. I have laid off of sodas, which I had been drinking during their 2 months. But I've stopped drinking sodas for the most part. I'll drink tea and I'll drink water, but I still am not drinking enough fluids throughout the day. So I do need to focus on that as well. So hopefully for their 4 months, they'll be a little bit more independent as far as, me being able to have a little bit more me time, even if it's just 5 minutes. So I can focus on a little bit more healthy things, because I do miss that. I miss working out. I miss being more healthy. So yeah, I think that's about it. Again, we're going on vacation here in a week, and they will be turning 4 months, so I'm excited about that. And life is just grand right now. People ask me, how is it like having twins? Is it harder than having one child? And I don't know. I never had just one child, so I was thrown into this, and we are making it work. So until my next update, I hope you guys have a great rest of the month, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.